If you could bottle the perfect summer evening in the garden, what would it smell and sound like? For me, it would be the sight of the sun setting, catching the last fiery glimmers of orange blooms. It would be that sweet, almost spicy scent that hangs in the warm air, a perfume you just can't buy in a store. And it would be that gentle, happy hum of bees making their last rounds, with the occasional whir of a hummingbird's wings. It's a moment that hits every sense and makes all the hard work feel completely worthwhile. But let's be honest, a lot of our gardens, as beautiful as they are, can be a little quiet. They're a feast for the eyes, for sure, but they often stop there. We pick plants for color and shape, but forget about fragrance, the wildlife they attract, and the whole atmosphere they create. We end up with a space that's pretty to look at, but not truly alive. What if I told you there was one perennial that could change all that? A single plant that isn't just another flower, but a complete package deal, delivering on color, scent, and a yard buzzing with happy pollinators. Today, we're talking about one of my all-time must-have plants, the orange agastache. You might know it as hummingbird mint or anise hyssop. I just call it the undisputed hero of the low-maintenance, high-impact garden. We're going to cover everything from the moment you bring it home to how you can design your whole garden around it. This isn't just about adding a plant, it's about transforming your garden into a living, breathing experience.
Before we dive deep, join our community of curious minds. Subscribe to The Career Botanist for the hidden science of nature. Let's begin. To the naked eye, it is just nature, but look closer. It is engineering, it is economics, it is survival. Welcome to the hidden side of biology. This is modern botany.
I remember the first time I really got agastache. I was walking through a public garden on a hot July afternoon, that time of summer when a lot of plants are starting to look a bit tired. But then I saw it, a huge stand of what looked like glowing orange torches, standing perfectly upright and absolutely swarming with bees. I could hear it before I could really see it. As I got closer, I brushed against the leaves, and this incredible wave of sweet, licorice-like fragrance just billowed up around me. It was pure garden magic. I was hooked. And ever since, some kind of agastache, especially the orange ones, has been a non-negotiable anchor in my garden. Now, let's clear up the name confusion, because you'll hear it called a few different things. The official name is agastache. Many people call it anise hyssop because the leaves of certain varieties smell strongly of anise or licorice. Another common name, hummingbird mint, is a fantastic and dead-on description of what it does, attract hummingbirds and what family it belongs to. It is, in fact, a member of the mint family, Lamiaceae. And I know what you're thinking when you hear mint. You're picturing an aggressive thug that's going to stage a hostile takeover of your entire garden. Let me put your mind at ease. While agastache has the square stems and opposite leaves of its minty cousins, it's a clump-forming perennial. It'll grow into a nice, tidy clump, getting a little bigger each year, but it will not send out sneaky runners to pop up on the other side of your lawn. It's all the perks of the mint family, the fragrance, the toughness, with none of the regret. To really appreciate this plant, you have to look at it up close. It grows in this wonderful, bushy, upright habit that feels both structured and a little bit wild. Depending on the variety, it can range from a compact 12 inches to a commanding 5 feet tall. The leaves are often a soft gray-green with a slightly fuzzy texture, and as we've talked about, they're incredibly aromatic. This isn't a plant where you have to stick your nose in the flower to get the scent. The whole plant is a fragrant powerhouse. But the real show, of course, are the flowers. From midsummer, often straight through until the first frost, it sends up these long, dense spikes packed with tiny tubular flowers. They're like living spires of color that bring so much energy and height to the garden. While agastache comes in a whole rainbow of colors, the orange varieties just have a special place in my heart. They bring a warmth to the late summer garden that is simply unmatched. There's a fantastic range to explore, too. You have species like Agastache coccinea, a classic with fiery reddish-orange flowers. Then there are the incredible hybrids. Desert Sunrise is a taller variety, reaching up to 4 feet, with breathtaking flowers that blend orange, pink, and even lavender. A popular one I've used in containers is Tango, which is more compact with brilliant, long-lasting orange blooms. For a richer, deeper color, Mango Tango has a saturated mango orange hue with dusky rose-colored calyxes that add another layer of complexity. And plant breeders are always giving us new and exciting options. There are whole series dedicated to making these plants even better. The Pochino series, for example, gave us Poquito Orange, a fantastic dwarf variety that only gets about 12 to 15 inches tall, making it absolutely perfect for the front of a border or for container gardening. It's compact, bushy, and flowers its heart out all summer. New varieties are always being selected for first-year flowering and thriving in heat and humidity, making them ideal for modern pollinator gardens. The point is, whether you have a tiny patio or a sprawling border, there is an orange Agastache that is a perfect fit for your space. But here's the real magic of this plant. Orange Agastache isn't something you just see, it's something you experience with all your senses. This is why it has the power to completely change how you feel about your garden. Let's break that down. Benefit by glorious benefit. Benefit 1. A feast for the eyes. The visual impact. Let's start with the obvious, that knockout color. But it's so much more than just orange. We're talking about complex shades ranging from soft apricot to fiery coral and deep tangerine. This isn't a flat color. The individual flowers on each spike have subtle variations, and the way they catch the light is just magnificent. In the golden light of sunrise or sunset, these flower spikes seem to glow from within, like embers in a fire. It's a showstopper. That color is also a powerful tool in garden design. Orange is a hot color, full of energy. It draws the eye and creates an instant focal point. In color theory, orange's complementary color is blue, which is why orange Agastache looks absolutely electric planted next to anything with deep blue or purple flowers, like a May night salvia. The contrast makes both colors pop. Plus, Agastache delivers this incredible shot of color late in the season, when many other plants are starting to fade. In August and September, your orange Agastache will be hitting its peak, carrying your garden's color story all the way through to fall. Beyond the color, the plant's physical form is a design asset. Those tall, vertical spikes provide a strong architectural element. They break up all the mounding shapes in a perennial border and draw the eye upwards, adding a sense of grandeur. It's a plant that refuses to be ignored. Benefit 2. The intoxicating scent. Aromatherapy in your garden. This, for me, is where Agastache truly separates itself from the pack. There are plenty of pretty orange flowers out there, but very few offer this level of fragrance, and the scent isn't where you'd expect. While the flowers are lovely, the real aromatic power is in the leaves. They are packed with essential oils that are released whenever you touch or brush against them. The scent itself is complex and wonderful, usually described as a mix of anise or licorice and mint. It's sweet, but also herbaceous and a little spicy, clean, refreshing, and utterly unique. Because the scent is released on contact, it's a brilliant plant for places you'll interact with it. I always plant it along pathways where you can't help but brush against it, releasing a little puff of fragrance with every pass. I also put it near seating areas, where you can idly run your hand over the leaves while enjoying your morning coffee. It turns a passive garden experience into an interactive one. This powerful fragrance also has practical uses. The leaves can be harvested for a wonderfully fragrant herbal tea, hot or iced. You can add them to potpourri to bring that unique garden scent indoors. In fact, its cousin, anise hyssop, Agastache phoeniculum, was named the 2019 Herb of the Year by the International Herb Association, a testament to the value these plants have beyond just their good looks. The scent is a gift that keeps on giving, adding an invisible layer of beauty to your garden that creates lasting memories. Benefit 3. The sound of a healthy garden, the pollinator symphony. If you plant orange Agastache, you are basically rolling out the red carpet for pollinators. This plant is, without exaggeration, one of the single best pollinator magnets you can have. And it's not just one type of pollinator, it's a party and everyone's invited. The sound of a large stand of agastache on a summer afternoon is the sound of a truly healthy ecosystem. First, the hummingbirds. They are obsessed with this plant, which is why Hummingbird Mint is such a perfect name. They are drawn to the red and orange colors like a giant neon sign advertising a high-energy meal, and the flower shape is tailor-made for them. The long tubular florets are a perfect fit for a hummingbird's beak and tongue to get to the nectar inside. I have spent hours just watching them zip and dart between the spikes, sometimes getting into little dogfights over a prime patch. It's better than television. Then come the bees. My goodness, the bees. From tiny native bees to big fuzzy bumblebees, they will cover this plant from sun up to sundown. It's often called one of the biggest bee magnets you can find, and I can completely confirm this. The dense flower spikes are an incredible banquet. Each spike has hundreds of individual flowers, so a bee can work its way up a single stalk and gather a huge amount of food without wasting energy. It's an efficient one-stop shop for them, and they show their appreciation by visiting in droves. And we can't forget the butterflies. All sorts of butterflies are drawn to agastache, but it seems to be a particular favorite for larger species like swallowtails. Watching a big, beautiful eastern tiger swallowtail gently land on a flower spike is another one of those perfect garden moments this plant delivers so reliably. By planting orange agastache, you're doing so much more than adding a pretty flower. You are creating a crucial food source and a vital habitat. You're actively supporting the pollinators that are essential for our ecosystem. The beauty of this plant isn't just in its color or scent, but in the life, sound, and movement it brings to your garden.
Okay, so you're ready for an agastache. Let's get practical. I called this a low-maintenance hero, and it is, but low maintenance doesn't mean no maintenance. The key to success is giving it the right conditions from the start. Get the foundation right, and this plant will reward you for years with very little fuss. Part 1. Getting started. From plant to planting. Your journey can start in a few different ways. The easiest is to just buy a potted plant from your local nursery. Look for one that seems vigorous and healthy. You want bushy growth, not a single spindly stem. Check for healthy white roots, not brown mushy ones. For the more adventurous, or those on a budget, growing agastache from seed is incredibly rewarding, and they often bloom in their very first year. The key thing to know is that agastache seeds need light to germinate, so just press them gently onto the surface of your soil and barely cover them. You can start them indoors about 5 to 8 weeks before your last frost, or sow them directly in the garden once the soil is warmed up. Once you have a mature plant, you can easily make more through division in the early spring. Just dig up the clump, slice the root ball into a few smaller sections with a sharp spade, and replant them. You've just tripled your stock for free. For many named hybrids that might not produce viable seed, you can also take cuttings in the summer from a healthy non-flowering stem. Part 2. The perfect spot. Sun, soil, and siting. Listen up, because this is the single most important thing to get right. You can do everything else perfectly, but if you put this plant in the wrong spot, it will struggle. Luckily, its needs are super simple. First, sun. Agastache demands full sun. That means, at a minimum, 6 to 8 hours of direct, unfiltered sunlight every day. This is a requirement, not a suggestion. Sun gives you strong stems and the most flowers. In shade, it will get weak, floppy, and leggy, and you'll get far fewer blooms. If you have a hot, sunny, unforgiving spot in your garden, that's the perfect place for an agastache. Second, and this is the golden rule, it needs well-draining soil. This is the #1 killer of this plant. Its roots cannot stand to be wet for long periods, especially in winter. Overwatering or heavy, soggy soil leads to root rot. Well-draining means water soaks in quickly instead of pooling. If you have heavy clay soil, you need to amend it by mixing in things like coarse sand, small gravel, or compost to improve drainage. Planting in raised beds or on a slight slope is another great trick for clay. Interestingly, agastache doesn't like rich, overly fertile soil. It actually performs better in soil that's a bit lean. Too much rich compost or fertilizer can lead to soft, leafy growth at the expense of flowers. Part 3. Ongoing care, the low-maintenance promise. Once it's planted in a sunny spot with good drainage, the hard work is done. This is where its hero reputation really shines. For watering, the first year is the most important. Water it regularly to help it establish a deep root system. After that, agastache is remarkably drought-tolerant. You'll only need to water it during long, extreme dry spells. Remember, the biggest danger is overwatering. Always check the soil first. If it's damp an inch or two down, leave it alone. To keep the flowers coming, you can deadhead the spent flower stalks. This tells the plant to stop making seeds and instead make more flowers, which can significantly extend the bloom time. And as for pruning, at the end of the season, many people are tempted to cut it all the way back. My advice? Don't. Leaving the stems in place over the winter helps protect the plant's crown. A better approach is to cut the stems back by about half in late fall. Then, in late winter or very early spring, you can cut the rest of the old stems all the way back just as new growth starts to emerge. And fertilizer? It couldn't be simpler. Don't. Agastache thrives in lean soil and generally needs no supplemental fertilizer at all. Too much fertilizer will just give you a big floppy green plant with very few flowers. Okay, you have your healthy agastache. Now for the fun part, making it look amazing. This plant is a versatile player that fits into all kinds of garden styles. Think like a designer for a second. You're working with color, form, and texture. The tall, spire-like shape of agastache is a powerful vertical element that adds height and structure. It looks fantastic next to plants with softer, more rounded shapes, like heuchera or low-growing grasses. So where does this plant really shine? It's a natural for informal cottage gardens, where it can mingle beautifully with other classics. It's an absolute must-have for native and wildflower gardens, where it will look right at home with black-eyed Susans and purple coneflower. And because of its fragrant leaves, it's perfect for an herb garden next to other sun lovers like rosemary, sage, and lavender. Don't forget containers. A compact variety like Poquito Orange in a large pot can be a show-stopping focal point on a patio. But my favorite way to use agastache is with smart companion planting. Choosing the right partners creates a beautiful picture and ensures all the plants are happy with the same conditions. My absolute favorite combo is orange agastache with deep blue or purple flowers. The electric color contrast is amazing. Planted with perennial salvias like May Night or the airy purple wands of Verbena bonarensis, the cool tones make the orange of the agastache seem even brighter. A foolproof pairing is with members of the daisy family. A drift of orange agastache behind a block of purple coneflower, echinacea, or black-eyed Susan, Rebeckia, is a classic late summer combo for a reason. They all peak at the same time, love the sun, and create a pollinator paradise. For textural contrast, nothing beats pairing it with ornamental grasses. Imagine the glowing orange spires rising through the soft plumes of a fountain grass or the upright stalks of feather reed grass. The effect is modern, soft, and incredibly beautiful. Because it loves dry, lean soil, it's a perfect partner for other drought-tolerant superstars like yarrow, achillea, Russian sage, and sedum autumn joy. They all thrive on a bit of neglect and will look fantastic together from midsummer into fall. So that's the orange agastache. It's so much more than just another perennial. It's a powerhouse that delivers a punch of vibrant, long-lasting color right when the garden needs it. It perfumes the air with an unforgettable scent, and most importantly, it fills your garden with the music of a healthy ecosystem, the hum of bees, and the whir of hummingbirds. It's a plant that asks for so little, just a spot in the sun and soil that doesn't stay wet, and gives back so much. It offers beauty without the backache, fragrance without the fuss, and a real connection to the wildlife that shares our world. If your garden is missing that spark, that life, that little bit of magic, then this just might be the plant it's been desperately needing. I would love to hear from you. Do you grow agastache? What are some of your favorite orange varieties or your go-to companion plants? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this guide helpful, consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing. We have a lot more deep dives planned for the plants that make our gardens truly special. Thanks for joining me, and happy gardening.